Man, it never gets old listening to that introduction. Never does.
Episode 132, late night edition of the
Uno,
Mizzle and
tres,
Dub Show,
dos.
and we welcome you. He's Mizzle. I am Dub. Is that a baby Goku shirt you're wearing?
Oh, you damn right.
It is. Okay.
Oh,
All right.
yes, with the power pole, with the tail,
Mm?
with the tail. Well, we all know I'm
Oh,
the
well,
biggest DBZ fan that
okay.
you might ever know.
I mean, I'm not a full-fledged watcher of it, but it looked like a Goku shirt, so I had to ask.
Well, you can tell by his hairstyle.
But
Anybody
anyways,
knows the hairstyle. That's Goku for sure.
yeah. Yes. But anyhow, welcome. We have figured out some things. We got the full-fledged recap of Championship Saturday in college football in these conference championship games.
Yes.
And of course, we'll recap the rest of Week 12 of the NFL and preview Monday Night Football and talk about David Benavidez's impressive performance. Well, I got the prediction right, but I was 3 rounds early. I said 9th or 10th. He said, screw it. I'm going to stop it in 6, toward the point to where he doesn't even come out for round number 7. But
didn't I say 6 or 7?
We'll get into all that as the show.
I swore I said 6 or 7.
I think you might have.
Yeah, I said about 6 or 7 because I remember you're going championship rounds.
You might be in the vicinity.
Yeah,
I did. Close. Well, we both said it would be a stoppage, and
for sure. Yeah.
One thing we did get right was it was indeed a stoppage.
Oh yeah, for sure.
But just to go back, we're gonna go back to the last game that we saw, which was, for the most part, it was sloppy. A whole lot of turn banner. Do your job. See, this is where technology really wants to make me mad right now. There we go. Freaking boy. Technology sometimes just really likes to make you mad. But nonetheless, the game in Inglewood, California between the Baltimore Ravens for the most part was really, really sloppy game. Hours is that gentleman, the rookie, was outstanding. Rushing touchdown, receiving touchdown, but the defense looked like a typical Baltimore Ravens defense. Patrick Queen and Roquan Smith was everywhere. The old man still gets done on the defensive end for the Ravens as the Ravens get by the Chargers by a final score of 20-10. And now, for a few hours, it was the Jacksonville Jaguars as the number 1 seed. Hours, it was back to the Chiefs, and now it's back to the Ravens being the number 1 seed in the AFC. So the number 1 seed in the AFC playing musical chairs, for lack of a better term, if you will.
It's going to be a dogfight.
And for most of football fans, it was, And for most people, today was heavy because if you watch the game, there was no Chris Collinsworth doing color commentary. It was Jason Garrett came from the studio into the booth. So for one Sunday, there was joyous for most people. No.
And go figure, the one Sunday that they switch it, I'm working.
Which makes Mizzle mad because he had to work.
Yes.
But nonetheless, just listening to Lamar Jackson's interview with Melissa Stark during the post-game show, he basically said that the defense should have got the game ball. We played sloppy, but the defense picked us up, which is true. They did, but Lamar and the offense made enough plays to win the game. And really, what more can you say about Zay Flowers, the rookie from Boston College? I mean, I said from draft night that he was going to be a problem and he was going to be a nightmare for secondaries. in the NFL, and he has proven that all season long. He was spectacular again. And so the Ravens, right now at the mark, they are the number 1 seed in the American Football Conference. And they move on as we may preview Week 13. You never know. It depends on how we're feeling. Doggone it. Turnover. Sheesh. Anyhow, it doesn't get easier. Oh, no. They're on their bye week. Never mind. So the Ravens get a week of rest. And always good to go into your bye week with a win. So Ravens get to rest, and they will see their competition, see what happens there. And again, as Mizzle said during his moment of break at work, he said, "Don't worry, the Chargers are going to charge," and they did. And it just seems to be always the thing with this team, all that talent, and it seemed to can't come together. And if you're Dean Spanos,
so is he coaching?
What is are you coaching? Waiting so long to pull the plug on? Okay, well, let's go through it. The Chargers always seem to find a way to lose close games. This has been their forte.
This is before Brandon Staley got there.
As long as
let's make this for sure.
It doesn't matter if it's
they've been this way years. It's just something about this organization. They play well, and then they sink. So, but continue. I don't know if it's coaching or not.
Well, you think it has to be because, okay.
Hell, I can't do this show without my glasses.
I don't want to say. I mean, something has to give because, again, you fired Marty Schottenheimer after a 14-2 season, to which his tenure was 47-35 in 4 seasons there. Okay. Yeah, North Turner gets there. They win division titles. They get to a conference championship game, but they seemingly underachieve, even though his career record is 59-43. Mike McCoy gets there. Ooh. Same thing. They underachieve. It started with him and these losses. Then it really picked up fruition with Anthony Lynn, and Anthony Lynn had a winning record there. He was 34-32 in his 3 seasons, but it really picked up steam when he was that coach, having double-digit leads, blowing them. It's the same thing with and then again, it goes back to the playoff game against the Jaguars. You're up 27-0. 27-0. You're up on the Jaguars in the playoff game. Okay? And me and you were literally on the road coming to Folsom from Vegas on the road because I was mad because my team had to be the first game of the day. So we're literally I'm literally watching my team on the road on my phone as we're coming to California. So we get home. So when we get home, it's halftime, and I think the halftime score was 27-7.
Yeah,
we're doing. I think we were doing a show live during the actual game between the Jaguars and Chargers, and we're like, "Is the Jaguars seriously going to come back and win this game?" And they come back.
Oh, is that what we said?
And you're sitting there at the table, your head. How? Because you sat at the table, and and we're looking at you like, I know this is what the Chargers do, but 27-0
playoffs. In the playoffs?
27-0.
In the playoffs.
I mean, okay. Nothing will ever be as bad as the 1992 NFC wildcard game between the Bills and the Houston Oilers. And we're talking about
that might be 1B now.
Prime with Warren Moon.
That might be
Jeffries,
1B.
Ernest Given. Well, it has to be because, okay, at the time before this happened, I mean, it's still the greatest playoff comeback in NFC history with the Giants and the Niners back in 2002, to which you were at 5th Street watching that game with me, and you're just like, what in the hell? But yeah, it has to be one because you're up 27-0. And I mean, the Bills were up 5-3. And the NFL Network did a football life on the 93 Houston Oilers. And if you have not watched it, watch it. It is a fantastic documentary talking about that team and talking about especially the last 3 seasons, 91, 92, and 93. The Oilers had some fantastic teams and really should have got to one Super Bowl. But you get your heart broken by John Elway, which I know he can't stand the horse teeth. He can't stand the logo, but of course, John Elway. I mean, whether you love him or hate him, John Elway is one of the great clutch quarterbacks of all time. Can't deny that, of course. Then the debacle in 92 against the Bills. And this is the Bills without Jim Kelly. Jim Kelly did not even play in that game. He was hurt. Frank Wright, the current head coach of the Carolina Panthers, was the quarterback of that game that led the greatest playoff
going up against Warren Moon.
NFL history against the
going up against Warren Moon. Ladies and gentlemen, Warren
Moon.
And if you don't know who that guy is, just look him up. And I ain't got to say nothing else about
Cornelius Bennett also didn't play in that game for the Bills.
So was just Tally out there? It was just Tally?
And
it was just Tally out there then.
Darryl Talley and Bruce Smith. It was Darryl Talley and Bruce Smith and Phil Hansen and Nate Odoms and Mark Kelso and Leon Seals. That Bills defense. Yeah, but Cornelius Bennett didn't play in that game. Then you come back. Then you go to the 93 game. And then you're playing the GOAT in Joe Montana. The Oilers are up 10. And then Montana does what Montana does. And basically, and I've always said this, I said that 93 playoff loss to the Chiefs pretty much killed the Houston Oilers as we came to know them but I'm said if we don't get there, I'm pretty much bringing up the team. Okay. The salary cap gets implemented into the NFL in 94. And basically, the Oilers dismantle their team. And they've been the Tennessee Titans since 97. So, back to the Chargers. I mean, Brandon Staley was going to be on the hot seat anyway coming into the season because, again, you have this talented team in the Chargers. You have this talented team in the Chargers. You have a franchise quarterback in Justin Herbert. Okay. You have in my opinion, you have a future Hall of Famer in Keenan Allen. You have a good complimentary receiver in Mike Williams, even though he's out for the season. You have a solid tight end in Gerald Everett. Okay.
Yeah.
You got the rookie Johnston from TCU. More playing time. He will be a player. Okay. You have Austin Eckler that can do everything. Run,
he'll
catch,
be gone next season.
Block.
He won't be back.
Okay. Even though I think and that's a very good possibility. Okay. You have 2 cornerstones on the edge, even though he's hurt again. But you got Joey Bosa on one side, Khalil Mack on the other. You have a solid All-Pro in Eric Kendricks. You have a steady linebacker in Kenneth Murray. You have Derwin James back there. You have Asante Samuel II back there. Like what? What is keeping this team from
2 no's?
What is keeping this team from underachieving?
Well, it sounds like coaching to me.
And it comes
with all that talent, with all that talent you just said. It sounds like coaching.
Do they need a new? I mean, personally, when Sean Payton was out there, searching for a team to go to, I said, if he goes to Inglewood with all that offensive firepower, instead he chooses Denver, and that's a whole other story that we haven't even touched yet with the Broncos that we'll get to. But it's like, okay, what is it? Staley's supposed to be this defensive guy. Well, the defense is giving it up, or as we like to say, giving up the ass, like it's the thing to do. And I'm not saying this in a clowning situation, because there's too much talent on that team in Inglewood for them to be underachieving it. It just is. But at the end of the day, Ravens get the win. They win by a final score 20-10, and the Chargers go back to the drawing board. So
what's that? They're what, 4-7?
We will see.
I think they're 4-7.
They're 4-7.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure
they're
both of us
they lost 3 straight.
We took the Ravens on this one, right?
The third straight game.
Yeah. And we took the Ravens on this one, right?
Correct.
Hell, you might have picked up a couple of games on this week.
Yeah.
I still don't think it's enough to catch me, but whatever.
I mean, no, it's not. But nonetheless, it is what it is. But going back to recap the rest of Week 12 of the NFL, you don't know how they do it, but yet they still do it. But as we say on the show, damn it, do not go against Mike Tomlin and the Steelers.
No.
As
as
it has been at times, the Pittsburgh Steelers are 7-4. 7.
But are you shocked?
Well, again,
now hold on. Let me stop you right there.
Bill Parcells made the famous phrase, "You are what your record is," and
I'm gonna stop you right here, brother.
Oh,
listen to this. If Mike Tomlin was coaching the Inglewood Chargers, I guarantee you they would have a better. Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
You know what? Technology. Now I can.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, technology is acting like a dummy again. But as we were saying, you don't go against Mike Tomlin. I can hear you, yes.
Okay, so what I'm going to say is, can you imagine if Mike Tomlin was coaching the Inglewood Chargers? They will have a better record than what they have. I promise you. I promise you.
They wouldn't be 4-7, that's for sure.
No, and I'm happy he's over there. Trust me, I'm happy he's over there. Stay. And he will not take another coaching job when he's done with the Steelers, because the Steelers won't fire him. He's going to retire a Steeler. He will have one team on his resume.
Well, he has only had no losing seasons since he's been the head coach in 2000. I mean, the playoffs every single year, but he's never had a losing record. Okay? Now, we have given this history lesson before. Those that are new to the show, we're going to give you this history lesson again for free. Okay, now, since 1969, 1969, that's...
Because I know where he's going.
Do the math here. You carry the 2 and not the 1.
And I know where he's going.
Do this, then the 3rd. But, okay. It's 2023. Okay. For the last 54 years, since 1969, the Pittsburgh Steelers have only, and you see the number my co-host and my brother is holding up. Since 1969, the Pittsburgh Steelers have only hired 3 head coaches. Chuck Noll was the head coach from 1969 to 1991. Chuck Noll retired after the 91 season.
Oh, and guess who took
Bill
over from there?
the successor, Bill Cowher, the successor to Chuck Noll, coached in 1992 to 2006.
Oh,
Bill
guess who
Cowher
took over there?
retired and went to the NFL on CBS. Then in 2007, Mike Tomlin has come over and has been the head coach ever since then.
And I'm not dropping the finger because he's still the coach. He's still the coach.
And he's only appeared in 2 Super Bowls, won 1, has appeared in, I want to say, 3 AFC Conference Championship games.
Sounds about right.
And has a 2-1 record in those conference championship games. So yeah, your facial expressions on that tells the whole entire story of what I'm talking about. The Steelers organization. But
3 coaches
for many years. I have in
3 coaches. That's
now,
tremendous.
People have heard me say ad verbatim how the Pittsburgh Steelers, like the San Antonio Fundamentals, 2 of the best ran organizations in North American professional sports.
Yep. Not the Patriots.
They do it their way.
Not the Patriots.
And their way has worked. And their way has worked for a long time. And again, that's it's stability. And I mean, the Rooney family has been doing this since the Rooney family has taken over this franchise. So it's not it's not surprising. So there you go.
Well, that's why they stay consistently winning. As you just said, they have a good culture.
Now go figure.
So
they fired.
That's it's not shocking. And here's the thing: they will go through offensive coordinators before they fire their head coach. That is what they will go through a plethora of OCs, but they have confidence in their head coach. Hence, they have the 3 since my brother put the date out there. So definitely not shocked with what the Steelers do, and that's why they are one of the best ran organizations in pro sports, period, as my brother said.
Now go figure. They fire their offensive coordinator, Matt Canada. They fire him. And lo and behold, today or yesterday against the Bengals, they put up 421 total yards of offense. Coincidence? I think not. He saw there was a problem. The offense was not moving the ball. And again, all 11 games up until today or yesterday, the Steelers were outgained in all of them, and yet managed to have a 6-4 record coming into today. First game without Matt Canada, 421 yards of total offense.
Wow.
They ran the ball for 153 yards. And oh, by the way, they were 8 for 17 on normally win football games.
Wow. That's something.
And then not to mention problem.
Big problem.
Deontay Johnson, you are a talent, but bruh, how are you just gonna stand there when your teammate fumbles and don't even go to attempt to recover the football?
Checked out, bro.
Now, I'm sure Mike Tomlin addressed the issue, and I'm sure he did
Of
it
course he did.
amongst the team in the locker room. But good Lord knows if it was me, I would pull a Mike Singletary over and it was like, bro, you got to go. You're in the shower today. Like, don't you? I'm like, if the rest of your brothers are trying to fight for the football to keep possession,
yes,
and you're not engaged, I don't need on the sideline. I don't need my young players seeing that because that's unacceptable. I don't know.
Because if you're the coach,
you're a tremendous
if you're the coach,
you're a talented wide receiver.
Yes, and yeah. Yes. And if you're the coach, you're not going to allow that. You got to prove. You got to prove point, just like Singletary did.
You're setting a bad example. No.
Yeah. Straight up. It's the come here, come here,
and
come here.
Yeah, come here.
Yeah.
What are we doing? What are we doing? Balls on the ground. You're right there. We're not going for it.
Well, as my cousin knows, because he plays football, and he knows it. That's why he's making the comments. He knows it.
However, for the Bengals, no Joe Burrow, and it's showing. It hurts. Bengals go to 5-6. Steelers go to 7-4. And the Steelers really be 8-4 next week, as I'm segueing to what they're going on here because they have pretty much.
Well, did we pick this? Did we pick Mike Tomlin? Well, I know I should have picked Mike Tomlin.
Of course. Okay. Let me go grab the clipboard. Hold on one second.
Yeah. We should let the people know what we are, what games we picked while we're recapping. That would be nice. Let's give the audience.
Well, like I said, for the most part, the only thing that pretty much our things are exactly the same except one game, and we'll get to that. Yeah, the Steelers won. I said the game would not disappoint, and damn it, it did not. But the Jaguars found a way to survive in Houston. They get the win, 24-23. The Jaguars go to 8-3 on the season. Texans through, but it hit the crossbar. Goes off the crossbar as the Jaguars had enough. They were down 10. Houston marches back. They get within 3, marching down the field. But at the end of the day, they just come up short. But it was a fantastic game. And
fantastic, yeah.
This could be the rivalry in the AFC South for the next few years between these two. Fantastic game. I mean, Sunshine threw the ball well. Sunshine threw for 364 yards. Stroud threw the ball for 304. So, I mean, these. That is a very good question. That is a damn good question. For some of it, I'm gonna say yes, because the desire and the hunger of some of these players is not there anymore. They don't, put in. I mean, some put in the work year round because they dare to be great. They want to be great. For example, the amounts of money that James Harrison used to spend on his body just to get in shape for the upcoming season just showed you how dedicated he was to his craft of playing this game of football. Of course, we can sit here and do a whole show about the work ethic that Jerry Rice had in his 20 years playing the NFL. I mean, you talk about the info season. I'm pretty sure he still runs up that hill to this day because, like I said, Jerry Rice can get out there and give me 4 catches for about 50 yards right now, and he's damn near 60. But the legendary story about how was he would take his teammates up there to run this infamous trail, this infamous hill, and the rest of them, and Jerry's like, okay, let's do round 2, and his teammates are like, dude, you're fucking crazy. But that's the difference between Jerry Rice, the all-time great Hall of Famer, which some people consider to be the greatest football player of all time, as opposed to today. Now, back then, there weren't as many restrictions, or you can't be at the facilities on your off week, and there's so many padded practices and this, then, the third. So it's like, okay, well, what are you doing in the offseason to better yourself and become a better player? Now, yes, the amounts of money that they're getting on these contracts is ridiculous. And a lot of it, and the whole guarantee amount of what they're getting guaranteed, because football contracts are not fully guaranteed, it's insane. But yet, and I really do not want to talk about this, but damn it, the Tom Brady rant talking about football is mediocre, this and the third, but I'm like, dude, you're the guy, not even a year removed from playing. You were the guy that benefited from this mediocre crap. Okay? Some of these rule changes are because of you. Okay, hell, we can go back to last season against the Falcons. Grady Jarrett, textbook sack. 15-yard roughing the passer. Buccaneers win the game. Okay? And I'm not even going to dare mention that damn game because I really don't want to make Raider Nation mad as they already are. But that damn rule made your whole freaking career. It did. Okay? We can't love tap quarterbacks no more because you tore your ACL because the defender hit you, and now defenders can't aim low the quarterback no more. If you glance their face mask, hands to the face, 15-yard penalty. Uh-oh. He's got the mic. Oh, boy. Go ahead.
The last time I ever cried for sports is when they did that fucking tuck rule. And them some bitches were doing snow angels in the damn stadium after they won that game because they know they cheated. Fuck Tom Brady. And we will never speak upon him again, even though he is part of Raider Nation now, which is bullshit. I don't understand why, but it's whatever. But to get to what little cousin is talking about, what you got to understand is certain players get into the league just to get paid, just to get the contract. Some players don't have the desire to do what the greats do. Okay? You know, that's why you have selected GOATs. As one GOAT, as my brother said, Jerry Rice. That man was a different human being. That's why you have Michael Jordan, a different human being. I will throw LeBron James out there, as much as I would like to take a shot of tequila after I talk about LeBron James. You just have certain players that it's not about the money to them. It's about, first of all, winning championships. That's what they want to do. Now, if you consider yourself a GOAT, it's all about championships. Fuck the records. Oh, I'm number one at scoring or getting touchdowns. Yeah, motherfucker.
Kobe.
Yeah, that's cool. I was getting to him. I was gonna get to him, but it's almost like the person that's the scoring title. They got the scoring title. But yeah, how many rings you got? What do you play this profession? Is it to be legendary by being the leading scorer, or you want to be legendary by having rings, i.e., Bill Russell? Okay. So does money change the game? Yes, it does. Because not all people on the team is going to have the same desire as others. They want to piggyback, but they just want to be there long enough to get paid and just retire. Now, for me, if I'd have gotten to the league, I wanted to be recognized as a person that won rings. I didn't want to go down as, oh, yeah, he had all these assists. He had all whatever profession I decided to play. Touchdowns or receiving touchdowns. No. As my man LA Knight will say, I'm trying to go down with championships. Because when they do this GOAT talk, see, that's the reason why LeBron will never be better than Jordan. I don't give a damn what 6-0. 6-0. So there's no competition. The only person that's close to MJ to me, the era, is Kobe. And I rest my case on that. But certain players get into the league to get paid. Certain players get into the league to be a champion. And if we're going to talk about Kobe, Kobe was a whole different person. And that's why I'm leaving it at that. And I'm not a big Kobe fan, but Kobe was a different person. All right, brother, get us back on track because we totally went off week 12 recap. But welcome to the Mizzle and Dub Show. That's what we do.
Your cousin. No, but your cousin asked a fantastic question, and I just wanted to harp on it while he asked it because
very fantastic.
I don't want to, I don't want to, and again, this is for our fans that do watch us when we're live. This is the type of questions we want you to ask. If you have a question that you want our opinion on, by all means, don't be afraid to ask because we'll have an answer. But back to what I'm saying, the Jaguars and the Jaguars and Texans could be the rivalry of the AFC South. It was a fantastic game. They get the win 24-21. And the Indianapolis Colts, right now, if the season ended today, they would have the 7th and final slot. They have picked up steam coming off their bye week. They get the win. They're 6-5. They get by the Buccaneers 27-7 or 27-20.
That was a good game too.
Jonathan Taylor finds the end zone again, and Moss and Jonathan Taylor have become a very nice running back tandem. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers had a 100-yard rusher today or yesterday.
Ooh. Which
is shocking because we know the Buccaneers cannot run the ball, but Rachaad White, in a losing effort, had a fantastic game running the ball, ran for 100 yards. Yeah. Mike Evans had 6 catches for 70 yards, found the end zone twice. The Colts had enough to get by the Buccaneers. Minshew was solid, threw for 251. Moss ran for 55. Jonathan Taylor ran for 91 yards and found the end zone twice. And dadgummit, finally, they're getting Michael Pittman Jr. the doggone ball, which works for me in fantasy because he's getting me some doggone points. But he had 10 catches for $107. But Shane Steichen, the former UNLV quarterback, former offensive coordinator of the Eagles, doing a good job there in Indianapolis. And the Colts are now in the final playoff spot with the 6-5 record and just getting the win over the Buccaneers. Again, the Buccaneers, great effort, but they fell short, and now they're 4-7 on the season. Well,
I think if Anthony Richards was healthy, that division would be a lot different than what it is right now. Just imagine if Anthony Richardson was still healthy.
He's definitely going to add. He's going to add some things to the mix when he does return, because again, he is a tremendous talent, and of course, he's got that rock up an arm. Well, Um, we should have known when the Falcons put on the throwback jerseys today, something would have happened. And well, we got this wrong, but Derek Carr was in a giving mood, throws a 92-yard pick six to Jesse Bates III, and the Falcons never look back. And once again, the NFC South is tied between the Falcons and the Saints. And when Ludacris performs at halftime in the Bird's Nest in Atlanta, doing it down from high above the stadium, Atlanta gets the win, despite the fact that Ritter threw 2 interceptions, but the Falcons get the win 24-15. Pretty much the Saints offense was nothing but Blake group field goals. That's it. The Saints kicked 5 field goals. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And they were in the game. They were
trust
down
me as a Raider
14-12,
fan. I know about that.
But Bijan Robinson found the end zone on a nice pass from Ritter. And Bijan Robinson is just showing off his tremendous talents in his rookie season.
But we're not
he ran for 91. He caught 3 catches for 32 yards. And hell, Drake London found the ball today. He had 5 catches for 91 yards.
No shit.
As the Falcons as a team ran for 228 yards. Yeah, Drake London finally got me some points. But the Falcons, the run game was very effective today. I mean, Ritter only threw the ball 21 times, completed 13 passes, threw 2 interceptions. But the Falcons' run game was the difference in this game. They ran for 228. Robinson at 91 yards. Tyler Argill had 10 for 64. And even Cordero Patterson touched the ball. He had 8 carries for 43 yards. And Ritter ran for 30. So the Falcons, as a team, ran for 228, and they averaged 5.6 yards a rush. That can win you a lot of ball games when you run the ball that effectively. And right now, the Falcons, Saints tied for first in the NFC South. And as we say, somebody. Actually, the Falcons are technically in first place by themselves because right now the Falcons have the undefeated record in the division. They're 3-0 in the division. So the Falcons right now have the tiebreakers over everybody. But I think Arthur Smith is starting to realize maybe I need to give the rookie from Texas the football because he can do some things.
Yeah.
But Falcons get the win.
You've been asking for that for a while,
though. And then there's this. I have. I really have. Well, first off, even before the Falcons draft, I said he was the best running back in the draft coming into the season. And I was actually kind of shocked that the Falcons drafted because I like Tyler Algier from BYU. He ran very effective last season for the Falcons. I mean, heck, he abused my Niners, and that's how the Falcons beat the Niners in Atlanta last season. So,
indeed,
him and Algier have become a very good tandem in Atlanta. You just have to figure out who your quarterback is. Anyhow, I don't know. I don't know what brings me greater joy. The fact that my Niners beat the Seahawks on Thanksgiving in Seattle, or the fact that the New England Patriots are 2-9. But I've been saying this forever. I said, do not be shocked and or surprised that once Tom Brady left the Patriots, and damn it, that's twice we've mentioned his name on the show. Ugh. But
thank you.
I said, don't be surprised when he leaves. Don't be surprised if the Patriots start sucking again. I kept asking people before Tom Brady got there, who are the Patriots? Who were they? Yeah, sprinkling some decent seasons under Drew Bledsoe, sprinkling the 1985 run to Super Bowl 20, sprinkling the 1996 run to Super Bowl 31, But for the most part, who are the Patriots? Really, not a very successful organization. Great players. I mean, Jim Plunkett got to start there in New England. Jack Hanahan, one of the greatest offensive guards ever to play football in the Hall of Fame. He was a great Patriot. Steve Grogan, the neck roll, played there for a long time. The Hall of Famer Andre Tippett, one of the best linebackers to ever play in this game. Bruce Armstrong, a solid left tackle for many, many years, playing for the Patriots. The late Terry Glenn was fantastic in his early years in New England. Of course, before Brady got there, Drew Bledsoe was very much beloved in New England. And of course, one of my all-time favorite tight ends and one of the great nicknames that Chris Berman gave him, Ben Winter Amazing Technicolor Coates. I mean, for a good 5-year period, Ben Coates was one of the best tight ends in football.
Ben Coates. Yes.
Yes, indeed.
They also had a decent cornerback by the name of Terrell Buckley.
The early part of his career. Yeah. In addition to that, Mike Haynes got his Hall of Fame career start in New England before he became a Raider. People forget that.
Yes. We don't.
And one of the most unsung players that, I mean, we know him, who I think should be in the Hall of Fame, and he had some great years with the Patriots, Irving Fryer.
Ooh,
he had to start in New England.
Yeah.
And put up some numbers on some not so good Patriot teams. But I mean, him, Stanley Morgan, heck, even Craig James was on the Patriots. Yes, former ESPN college analyst Craig James was on the Patriots. He was on the first Patriots team that got to Super Bowl 20 before they ran into the 85 Chicago Bears. But, you know, this success happened. But again, I keep proving my point about the hoodie Bill Belichick.
Indeed.
You take away number 12, he has a losing head coaching record with still just 2 playoff appearances under his belt without Brady. I'm just saying. You might not want to listen to me, but there is a reason why that his tree, per se, has not been successful. It has been.
Yeah.
And you look at all the people that the tree hasn't got about possibly them trading for one of his players, Mike Vrabel. I don't know how it's going to work if Gerard Mayo doesn't want the job, because Gerard Mayo might be the successor if they decide to fire the hoodie, if Robert Kraft decides to go that route. But the Giants,
the Texans saying they're not going to do that.
Tommy DeVito was solid. He was steady, and now. Well, the Titans would be dumb if they do that, because Mike Vrabel's been a good head coach in Tennessee. But Tommy DeVito was solid, 17-21 for 191 through a touchdown pass. It did not matter who the quarterback was for the Patriots, because Mac Jones struggled, throwing 2 bad interceptions in the red zone. Zappy came in, didn't do no better. Stevenson ran the ball well for the Patriots, and that's about the only good thing that the Patriots had. And even with all that, the Patriots still had a chance to tie the game and send it overtime, but the field goal was no good, and Giants go to 4-8. Patriots go to 2-9. But Mr. Hyatt, the rookie from Tennessee, he had a nice game. Jalen Hyatt had 5 catches for 109 yards to lead the way for the Giants defensively, and the Patriots are 2-9, and some changes might be coming in Foxborough, Massachusetts. So,
it's coming.
The Titans, they get the win. They get their 4th win of the year. Derrick Henry had 2 touchdowns, ran for 76 yards. Will Levis stayed with the ball, didn't turn the ball over. As the Titans beat the Panthers 17-10. And the most hideous uniforms in the NFL are still worn by the Inglewood Rams as they get the win. And the Rams are 5-6, and they're still trying to climb back into the playoff hunt. They get the win over the Cardinals 37-14. The Cardinals had a brief 8-7 lead, but the Rams never looked back. Stafford looked like his old self today. He was 25 of 33 for 229, threw for 4 touchdowns, only had the 1 pick. But Kyron Williams, the rookie from Notre Dame, he's back, and he ran the ball very, very well today. In 2 games against the Cardinals, he ran for $158 when they first met back on the 15th of October. Today, he ran for 143 yards. That's over 300 yards rushing for Mr. Williams over the Cardinals in 2 games. So the Rams trying to keep their slim playoff hopes alive. They beat the Cardinals 37-14. Yeah, he definitely has the rookie on Notre Dame. And credit must be given where credit is due, because once upon a time, the Denver Broncos were 1-5. They were the butt of jokes, gave up a 70 burger to the Dolphins, and the Broncos have now won 5 straight and are 6-5 and well in the thick of the wild card hunt. Kudos to Sean Payton,
second place,
and I you know, division rivals are division rivals, but something happened in Colorado to where they're starting to get their stuff together. And for the Browns, Amari Cooper leaves with a rib injury. DTR leaves after taking a big hit. PJ Walker had to come in.
Concussion.
Joe Flacco, get ready. And Myles Garrett has a shoulder injury. So we will check the Browns injuries. The Browns still in the thick of the playoff chase. They're still in the wild. They still have a playoff spot, but they suffer a tough loss going to 7-4 on the year. But the Broncos Russ didn't throw the ball well, but the Broncos got enough to beat the Browns 29-12. The Broncos as a team ran for $169. And what more can you say? Sean Payton has done a fantastic job wheeling this team in the second half of the season. And today you said that you were disappointed, and it started off so well for the Raiders. It really did. I'm consuming ball control offense, and then you kept saying that the missed field goal by Carlson, which is a rarity. You said that it might come back to haunt this team, and then pretty much the bottom fell out. And I think this is the first time under Aaron Pierce to where I don't want to say they fell flat per se, but it seems like the Chiefs got it right. But I'll let you give your perspective on what you saw in the game yesterday.
Well, they changed up a lot of things.
Oh,
they changed up a lot of things. I don't know why. Number one, it seems like after they got that 14-0 lead, it just like they got comfortable. And they were depending on the defense to take the game over and lead us. But I don't know. It's hard to put together. Like all the games that Antonio Pierce has been, they except last week before they played this one, they came out on fire. They drove the ball down the field. They showed that they can they can do it, but it seems like once the other team made adjustments to what they were running, they didn't know how to adjust to what that other team was doing to stop them. That's just the offense. I mean, JJ looked good. The running game was looking pretty nice. O'Connell was putting the ball on point.
Yeah, I mean, he finished it. Yeah, I mean, JJ finished with 20 carries for 110 yards, and I mean the 63-yarder, Michael Mayer and and welcome back Colt Miller. I mean, Miller and Mayer just opened up a big hole, and JJ just ran through that seal, and it was all she wrote. I mean that is as textbook of blocking on a run play as you'll ever want to see. And I mean, O'Connell was throwing some dimes. I mean, the ball he threw to Myers to where Myers could go get it was a fantastic throw and an even fantastic effort of a catch. I mean, Adams was looking good on some routes. I don't know what happened. It just seemed like once, and I mean, you look at the stats. It's like the Raiders were 7-14 on third down. They were converting at a good rate on third down. I mean, the Chiefs on third down were only 5 for 11.
You want to hear a crazy
they ran
stat?
The same amount of plays. The amount of yards were even, almost even. I mean, go ahead.
They had no penalties, no turnovers.
Yeah. When was the last time you can say the Raiders, and we know the Raiders historically have been known for leading the NFL in penalties, even when the Raiders had fantastic, great teams and had Super Bowl winning teams?
Penalties.
The fact that they had no penalties, none. Which, first off, that's because that, I mean, there's even though they lost by 14, there are some positives that you can take from this game. One, obviously, is JJ running the ball effectively, and two, them being very much disciplined in not committing penalties. But now again, this is the first time AP has been a head coach in anything, so obviously he's learning on the fly. And obviously, kudos to him because he finally saw what the problem was. You've been asking for it, and just before we came on the air, it was announced that the Raiders are more than likely are going to cut Marcus Peters, and AP basically took him off the field. They had a conversation.
Yep.
And basically, from what Raider insiders were saying, that Peters was pretty much on his own island, and that pretty much signaled the end. But they've been talking about having Palomau, the nephew of Troy Polamalu, get some more playing time on the field because the times that he has played, he has been a factor.
Yep.
And plus, like I said, once upon a time, Marcus Peters was a fantastic player in the league, and I don't know what happened, but it seemed like he had forgotten how to tackle, and it showed out there against the Chiefs. Now, again, the Chiefs, going back to it, if I can find it. Now,
and also,
I'm not saying the Chiefs have solved their second half issues per se.
Yeah.
No, it's not that. It's been a plethora of things. The Bears game, prospectively, now the Chiefs finally scored the most points they've scored in the second half in a long time, maybe all season. They scored 17. Now, I'm not saying them to get going. That's not what I'm saying. Because I mean, even
no.
Because I mean, they can go to Lambeau and lay a fat egg next Sunday night in Lambeau Field. Because I mean, if the Packers play like that, like they did against the Lions, the Packers might have a good chance to beat Kansas City. But that's here, north there. But nonetheless, Chiefs get the win. They go to 8-3.
Yeah.
Are they 8-3? Yeah, they're 8-3. Raiders go to 5-7, but the Raiders, they're not out. They still are on the hunt for a wild card spot. I think the bye week for them came at a great time.
Right on time. Right on time.
So now you get to rest. So now you get to rest, and now you get a 2-week scan on the Vikings because that's who you're playing starting later on tonight because the Vikings are playing on Monday night. So you get a chance to scan and see what you got in the Vikings. And go from there. So like I said, they wanted to see is will the Raiders be playing meaningful games in December? And it looks like they will be because again, 5-7 by no means are you
not eliminated yet.
It seems like maybe 10 wins might get you in to the wild card slot. So, I mean, there are some winnable games on here. I mean, the Vikings is a winnable game. Obviously, the Chargers, you feel like you should have been the first time. And I'm pretty sure Aiden O'Connell wants revenge because that was his first NFL start. That's a winnable game. If the Raiders can apply how they started against the Chiefs when they see them again on Christmas Day, who knows what that could be. And I mean, even though the Colts are playing better, the Broncos are playing better, those are still winnable games. So your last 5 games, if you can go 3-2, 4-1, you have a good shot to get in.
That's true.
Because
that's true.
Again, you never know what could happen. But like I said, the Raiders wanted to go into December to play meaningful games, and they are. And just let the chips fall where they may. Like I said, Mark Davis said he's under McDaniels, and that's why he led the firing. If they keep seeing progress, like I said, I really don't think Mark will make the same mistake he did in 21 by not retaining Bisaccia. If the team is responding to Antonio Pierce, like you said, take the tag off him, take the tag off Champ Kelly, and let those two put a program together.
Yeah, let's see. Let's see it. And
all right. Well, it was in the rain. It was a fantastic game. But it seems like for whatever reason, the Bills just find a way to shoot themselves.
Oh my God, what a game.
Fantastic game. Yes, it was. Went to overtime. And the Eagles and the good old Randall Cunningham, Reggie White, Eagle Kelly Green jerseys find a way to go overtime. 37-34. Eagles maintaining the best record in the NFL with 10-1. And I mean, the Eagles have had to scrap for most of their wins this year because a lot of their wins have been a lot of one-score victories. You go back to the Patriots, beat them by 5. The Vikings beat them by 6. They soundly beat the Buccaneers, but the Commanders beat them by 3. The Dolphins, they pulled away late, beat them by 14. When they went to play the Commanders, barely they beat them by 7. The Cowboys barely beat them by 5. Last week against the Chiefs, barely beat them by 4. And again, overtime against the Bills by 3. Now again, doesn't matter how you slice it, how you dice it. A win is a win. W is a W. 10-1 is 10-1. No matter how you get it, no matter how you slice it, no matter how you dice it, their record is 10-1.
And that last drive was nice.
However, yes, it was. Jalen Hurts found some things. He didn't throw the ball all that well. Threw for 3 touchdowns. Threw for a pick. But when he needed to, he made the throws that he needed to make.
Yes.
And Devontae Smith reminding you that, hey, I can still catch the ball. Don't forget about me. I know A.J. Brown's getting all the praise, but dadgummit, I can do some play too. And here's the thing that's mind-boggling, which goes to show you something it just goes to show you when you think you know the NFL, you don't. Because if my doggone Wi-Fi would stop being retarded right now, as it seems to have been doing all freaking night, here's something that's really mind-boggling about this game between the Bills and the Eagles, which some might have thought it might be a Super Bowl preview, but right now, the Bills are now trying to fight just to get in the playoffs. They're now 6-6.
Yep.
Bills are underachieving per se.
Yeah.
Now, looking at this game, Josh Allen throws for 339, but threw the ball 51 times. He was the Bills' leading rusher with 81 yards and ran for 2 touchdowns. Gabe Davis was outstanding, 6 catches for a $105 and a touchdown. But here's what's mind-boggling about this game. The Eagles were 4 for 11 on third down. 4 for 11.
Okay.
The Bills on third down were an astounding 13 of 22 on third downs. 13 for 22 on third downs, 1 for 1 on fourth down. The Bills ran 92 total plays to the Eagles' 65. The Bills had 505 yards of total offense to the Eagles' 378. The Bills had 5. The Eagles' defense, which is a very good defense, especially with half the damn defense being my Georgia Bulldogs, but the Eagles' defense gave up 505 yards.
Wow.
And the Eagles play my team next Sunday. I promise you, if the Niners offense puts up 505 yards, they're not losing in overtime.
No, they're definitely not.
And
No,
not
at
to
all.
mention, the Bills in time of possession, 40 minutes and 30 seconds to the Eagles, 26 minutes and 53 seconds.
Ooh.
And the Eagles were -2 in the turnover margin. So maybe the difference in the game is simply this. The Bills were 4 or 5 in the red zone. The Eagles were 4 or 4. That may be the difference in this game, considering that the Eagles won by 3 in overtime. But, and I know they're going to debate this verbatim, I don't know what Gabe Davis was doing, but he was open. I don't know if there was a miscommunication. I don't know if it was supposed to be a go route or a post, but the game's supposed to end on that touchdown because Gabe Davis would have scored. Gabe Davis had the defender beat. He was going to score regardless, and that little mishap cost the Bills, and the Bills had to settle for a field goal. But again, the Bills bitched about the overtime rule in the playoffs and got that changed. But yet and still, the Bills still find a way to lose it in overtime.
So what you gonna cry about now?
Couldn't hold the Chiefs for 13 seconds to kick a field goal in the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. There's nothing left to cry about. Nothing left at all.
Not at all.
Kudos to the Eagles. They get the win, 37-34. And now, as we await, now there really isn't much to preview. About tonight's game. We're going to see if Justin Fields is their guy, or will the Bears draft another quarterback in the 2024 NFL draft. But nonetheless, the Vikings coming off the heartbreaker against the Broncos, which again they think they should have won. The Vikings
they should have
are at home. and they should have. So here's what we know: Noah Sewell, linebacker, out for the Bears. Stevenson, quarterback, he's out. Larry Borum, offensive tackle, he's out. And unfortunately for the Bears, Dante Borum, the running back, he's not playing tonight. Tonga's out for the Vikings, or he's questionable. Caleb Evans, questionable. And of course, JJ, still not ready to return yet. Even with that, the Vikings are still a -3 just because they're playing at home inside the big ATM known as US Bank Stadium. But I think the Vikings have enough firepower. Second home game for Josh Dobb amongst the faithful. I mean, the Bears, for most of that game against the Lions, they look good, but the Bears blew a 12-point lead. So now you have to come to the Vikings. The Vikings definitely have to take care of the ball because you can't turn the ball 3 times and expect to win a game. They're 5-5.
Not against a real good,
good
team,
which was here's the thing for Kevin O'Connell. In the 29 games he's coached for the Vikings, 22 of those games have been 1-score games. So needless to say, he plays a lot of close games since he's been the head coach of the Vikings. Now, Justin Fields looked sharp last week coming back. Threw 16-23 for $169 and a touchdown. Had a nice rating of 105 after missing 4 games. But also at the same time, you don't want to be your team's leading rusher and receiver. Try to feed DJ more of the ball. And get your other playmakers involved. But the question is for the Bears, who is going to run the football other than Justin Fields? Because it seems like they have no running back and or no run game. If you're the Vikings, if you're Josh Dobbs, try to feed Madison early. And of course, find Addison, find TJ Hawkinson, and just do what you do. But I still think the Vikings should win this game soundly, I should think. Even though it's a division game, anything can happen because that's just how that is. And that's that. It started off ugly. It started off real ugly. But nonetheless, and you can hold the ugly, but nonetheless, you are once again the champions of the state of Florida when it comes to college football, as the Seminoles rally to beat the Gators in the swamp, and with Ohio State losing to Michigan, the Seminoles are once again back in the college football playoff, as now they will head on to play the Louisville Cardinals.
That's going to be tough, man.
In the ACC.
That game's going to be a tough one, man.
If they happen to win that game, they definitely will be in the college playoff. But
it's going to be tough, man.
It started off ugly. Florida got off to a It is. The Gators got out to a 12-0 start.
Yes.
The Seminoles get in the board before the half as Benson just continued to ran hard, and then Roadmaker seemed to get in a rhythm, and
that defense,
the Seminoles.
I've been saying that all year long. That defense plays better in the second half. They just get better.
They did,
which allowed the offense to get better.
They held the Gators to just 3 points in the Gators.
And you've been saying this. When the special teams do something special, that's when that team, Coleman's punt return, that changed the whole dynamics of the game a little bit as well. As you've been saying, when something happens, always in the special teams.
Yeah, yeah. I mean Benson. Benson was the offense for the Seminoles. 19 carries,
Yes, he was.
95 yards, found the end zone all three times. The 36-yarder put them up. I mean, Florida briefly took a lead back. The Gators only scored 3 points in the second half. Florida State outscores them 17-3 in the second half. Didn't look back. Roadmaker, tough test. It's never easy playing in the swamp in Gainesville, but he took care of the ball, didn't turn the ball over. And now here you go. You're on to Charlotte, North Carolina to play the Louisville Cardinals in the ACC championship game. My Bulldogs had a little bit of a dogfight against Georgia Tech, but found a way to get it done.
Yes, you did.
They beat Georgia. They beat Georgia Tech 31-23. Can't do that against Alabama in Atlanta in the championship game. Just to recap Saturday scores, Notre Dame came to the farm, handled business. They beat Stanford 56-23. Notre Dame finishes the regular season 9-3. I'm pretty sure they'll have a nice bowl selection to go to. Michigan, that's the one team I don't want to see in the playoffs. If Michigan get to the playoffs, and you can mark this down at 1:51 a.m. on November the 27th, 2023. If my Georgia Bulldogs do not three-peat as national champions, I'm going to say this right now, you will be hearing "Hail to the Victors" all night long, because if Georgia doesn't do it, I think Michigan does. Michigan is playing for a different purpose. They're playing for a different cause. This college football team is running through a wall and playing for their, considering the fact that he has been suspended twice and have not missed a beat. They have rallied together. They are playing for a cause bigger than themselves. They are playing for their coach. So again, hear me again at 1:52 a.m. Pacific Standard Time on November the 27th, 2023, on the 132nd edition of the Mizzle Dub Show. If my Bulldogs do not repeat, you will be hearing "Hail to the Victors" all night long, because the Michigan Wolverines will win the national title. And if my Bulldogs happen to make the championship game, the one team I don't want to see is the Michigan Wolverines, because when a team is playing for a cause, that's the most dangerous team out there, period.
I don't deny what you just said there. Not a shadow
of a doubt. Which was a fantastic game against Ohio. Which they played a great game. They played a great game against Ohio State. They beat Ohio State 30-24. And for people that are calling for Ryan Day's job, stop it. Ryan Day is a fantastic head coach.
Stop it.
He's done great things at Ohio State. Both teams came to the game undefeated. Okay. People in Ann Arbor were calling for Harbaugh's job when he lost his first 3 games against Ohio State. Okay. Harbaugh has done nothing but win 10-plus games since he got to Ann Arbor, and people are still not satisfied. All Ryan Day has done is won games since he's been at Ohio State. Ohio State has been to the college football playoffs. I mean, heck, they were in a dogfight with my Bulldogs last year. That game was back and forth, and Ohio State easily could have won that game. So stop it. Ryan Day is a good coach, and he's done some good things in Columbus. Let the man coach his program. Good grief. It'd be one thing if they were underachieving, going 5-7. Stop it. He's been winning 10-plus games since he got there. Now, Louisville, not going in there with some momentum. They lose to Kentucky 38-31. LSU beats Texas A&M 42-30. And Auburn gets their hearts broken in the Iron Bowl as Alabama scores on a 4th and goal in the last seconds to get by Auburn 27-24. Arizona, nice finish their season, 9-3. They won the Territorial Cup. beating Arizona State 59-23. Oklahoma finds a way because, I thought BYU was going to mop the floor with them. But Oklahoma State rallies. In double overtime, they beat BYU 40-34. Tennessee beats Vanderbilt 48-24. Liberty beats UTEP 42-28. Fantastic apple cup between the Huskies and the Cougars, but at the last second, Washington gets the win. Clemson beats South Carolina 16-7. In the snow, a lot of scoring in the snow between Iowa State and Kansas State, but Iowa State gets the win 42-35. And NC State gets the win over North Carolina 39-20, which takes us to championship weekend in college football. Conference USA on Friday. New Mexico State 10-3 against 25th ranked Liberty at 12-0. You can catch that championship game on CBS Sports Network, and they're giving Liberty 10.5. If I can find a way to get there, I really want to try to go to this Pac-12 championship game between Oregon and Washington. Oregon coming in 11-1. Washington coming in at 12-0.
It's gonna be a good one.
Bo Nix and Michael Penix Jr. Part 2. By God, if I can get there, I'm gonna get there. That game was at 5 p.m. on ABC. They're giving Oregon 9.5. My goodness.
Oh,
of course, Saturday. Big game for me at 1 p.m. My beloved Georgia Bulldogs playing Alabama in Atlanta for the SEC Championship. They're giving the Bulldogs -5. The final Big 12 championship game before they expand. Texas' last game in the Big 12 before they go to the SEC along with Oklahoma. It is the Texas Longhorns and the Oklahoma State Cowboys playing at Uncle Jerry's World for the Big 12 championship. You will see a lot of that. You want to talk about a lot of orange? There's going to be a lot of orange in that stadium. A lot of burnt orange for the Texas Longhorns. A lot of orange and black for the Oklahoma State Cowboys. Should be a fantastic game. The American Athletic Conference, 10-2 SMU against 11-1 Tulane. They give Tulane -4. Of course, in prime time on Saturday, you have Michigan and Iowa. Iowa's no slouch. Iowa is 10-2, and
good football
is 12-0. But check this line here. They're giving Michigan -23.
I don't trust it.
They're giving Michigan -23 in this game. And of course, in the nightcap, Florida State, Louisville for the ACC Championship in Charlotte, North Carolina. They're giving Florida State -3. So those are your 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Your 7 conference championship games.
Wow.
Coming up, another one that we've got to mention. It was settled in the computers. Let's see. Also, don't forget, one of the best championship games that always happens. It never disappoints. The MAC championship. Miami of Ohio against Toledo. Miami of Ohio 10-2. Toledo 11-1. They're giving Toledo -8. Sun Belt championship 8-4. Appalachian State against Troy. They're giving Troy 6.5. They let the computers decide it, but the UNLV Rebels will be hosting the Mountain West Conference Championship game against the Boise State Broncos. So that's at 12 p.m. And even though and that's with Boise State firing their head coach, and they still get the championship game, which is insane. But that is your championship Sunday matchups. I hope UNLV can pull it off and get to their 10th one of the season and be their first overall Mountain West Conference championship. And we'll go from there. But some very fantastic college football matchups you can see on the networks of ESPN, ABC, and CBS Sports. I guess my question would be, do you want to do the Week 13 picks now? Or you want to do it after the Monday night game when you get off of work?
Let's do it at the Monday night.
How are
The
you
Monday
feeling?
night game. Let's do it at the Monday night game.
Okay, so episode 133 of the Mizzle and Dub Show will be a Monday Night Football recap, and we will give our picks for Week 13. So, to our viewers that have watched us, that have come in and watched us, we always appreciate you coming in and watching the game with us. And of course, we do this for y'all. We appreciate you coming in and watching and joining us, because we do this for your guys' entertainment. And of course, we enjoy talking sports. So, with that said, we hope you enjoyed your Thanksgiving weekend. And if you're still eating the leftovers, hopefully it was just as fulfilling as it was on Thanksgiving Day. And before we get out of here, before I forget, the A7FL Nevada Fall Brawl begins this upcoming Sunday on December the 3rd. So please add us. Please add us to your schedule. And yours truly will be doing play-by-play for the Fall Brawl. So 5-game tournament style season, but your boy is behind the mic doing play-by-play for the Fall Brawl for A7FL Nevada. So please, for those that are watching locally in Las Vegas, please tune into Fox 5.2. For those not in Nevada or in Las Vegas, go to a7fl.tv, and of course the A7FL TV page on YouTube, where your boy will be behind the mic calling the action of the American Sevens Football League. Again, that is no helmet, no pads, 7-on-7 tackle football. Your boy will be doing play-by-play for the Fall Brawl this season. And I'm excited. Myself, Scott back in the booth, and Chris Vera, the division manager, will also join us in the booth. So it'll be a 3-man, but it'll be yours truly calling the action stuff. So I'm excited about that. Very grateful and thankful for the opportunity. So looking forward to it. So with that said, episode 132 in the books of the Mizzle and Dub Show. Special thanks to EJ Wizzle for chiming in and asking a very, very good question about players and money and all that stuff. At our Mizzle and Dub Show Instagram page, and of course our Mizzle and Dub Show page here on YouTube. But with that said, I'm gonna go finish my laundry. We'll call it a night. We appreciate you. So, for Mizzle,
yes,
I'm Dub. Number 132 is in the book. And as always, it is 12 o'clock some damn where. And you've been watching the Mizzle and Dub Show.